Barcelona is incredible, and honestly its public transport system is one of the best in Europe. It's fast, it's clean, and it goes everywhere. But it can also be confusing if you don't know the rules. Every single day we see tourists making the same expensive mistakes. They buy the single ticket, which is a rip-off. They are unaware of the 75-minute rule, or worse, they get hit with a €100 fine because they didn't know they had to keep their ticket till the end of the trip. We visit Barcelona so often that it is our second home. Today we're going to master the grid. We're going to show you exactly how to use the metro, the buses, the trains, the trams, and even the taxis, plus a few unusual modes of transport you probably didn't imagine you'd find in a major city. Let's get you moving. Vámonos! Hola, ¿qué tal? Welcome to a channel made by two humans who live in Spain. We're here to make your travels in Spain and Portugal happier with the help of our self-guided walking tours. And if you like the work you do, you want to support the channel, and you want extra help with your questions, check out our channel memberships. Members get priority replies to all their comments and questions directly from us. We have a lot of ground to cover, so let's start with the first section of the video. Before we buy a single ticket, you need to understand the shape of this city. Barcelona is not like London or Paris, where everything spreads out in a circle. Barcelona is a sandwich. We are squeezed between the mountains at the top and the Mediterranean Sea at the bottom. Because of this, the whole city is tilted. This is your compass. Locals almost never use north or south. They use montaña in Catalan, mountain, and mar, sea. If you get out of a metro station and feel lost, just look at the ground. If you are walking downhill, you are heading to the beach or the old city. If you are walking uphill, your calves will burn and you are heading towards Gracia or the mountains. In the middle of the city, this tilt is part of a perfect grid called the Eixample, ensanche in Spanish. It makes navigation incredibly easy. You don't need a GPS to know if you are going the right way, just need to feel gravity. But let's be real. Even after 300 visits to Barcelona, you will walk out of a metro station, look at the perfectly identical corners, and have absolutely no idea where the mountain is. You will walk 3 blocks in the wrong direction before you realize it is part of the Barcelona experience. Embrace the confusion. We have all been there. Now, let's talk about this scary thing. This is the official transport map showing the fare zones. Zone 1, Zone 2, 3, 4. It looks complicated, right? Here's the secret. Forget about them. As a tourist, 99% of everything you want to see is inside Zone 1. The Sagrada Familia, 1. Parkwell, 1. Camp Nou Stadium, 1. The beaches, 1. Even some day trips, such as the Colonial Well, are in Zone 1. There is only one tricky exception, the airport. Geographically, the airport is in Zone 1, however, the metro system treats it differently to make extra money from tourists. But don't worry, we'll explain how to handle that in the next section. Unless you are planning a day trip to the monastery of Montserrat or the beaches of Sitges, you will never leave Zone 1. This is huge because it means you don't need expensive multi-zone tickets. The cheapest basic ticket covers the entire city. So every time you buy a ticket and face that confusing screen asking how many zones you want, the answer is always 1. Just press 1 zone and move on. Don't overthink it. So rule number 1, down is sea. Up is mountain, and for everything you love, you will need just 1 zone. Now that you have the map in your head, let's get you from the airport to your hotel. Okay, first mission, getting from El Prat Airport to your hotel. Now, we have a full detailed video dedicated entirely to this, link below. So we're going to keep this rapid fire. You basically have the following options. The first one is the Aerobus. This is the big blue bus you will see right outside both Terminal 1 and 2. It runs 24/7 and takes you straight to the city center, Plaza Catalunya. It is not the cheapest, but it is the easiest. If you are tired and just want to get there, take the blue bus. Option 2 is a taxi. Barcelona taxis are black and yellow, they are reliable, safe, and use the bus lanes to cut through traffic. You pay by the meter, there are no fixed rates. If you have a group of 3 or 4 people, this is actually a great deal. Option 3 is the local secret, the train. This is the cheapest way to leave the airport. You can use a standard ticket, which costs barely over €1 per trip. The catch, it only leaves from Terminal 2. If you land at Terminal 1, you have to take a free shuttle bus to get to the train. And finally, option 4, the metro. It connects to both terminals. But here's the trap. The standard 10-trip card that locals love does not work here. You have to buy a specific airport ticket or have a Hola Barcelona unlimited travel card. So, blue bus for ease, taxi for comfort, train for budget, metro if you have the right card. If you want to see details of other lesser known alternatives as well as step-by-step instructions, watch the full airport guide after this video. Let's go into the city and learn the system. Alright, you've made it into the city, now let's talk about how you actually move around. Barcelona has a lot of different transport options and at first glance it looks chaotic. But once you understand who runs what, it all clicks into place. Let us introduce you to the players. First up, the metro. This is the backbone of the system. Most lines are run by TMB, Transports Metropolitans de Barcelona, Barcelona Metropolitan Transports. But lines 6, 7, 8 and 12 are run by FGC, which is another public company. Both are public companies. TMB belongs to the city, FGC belongs to the Catalan government. They are both official, safe, and happily fully integrated. You don't really need to care whether the metro line is red or yellow, it uses the exact same ticket. Next, the daily buses. These are run by TMB and are the red and white ones you see everywhere. They are slower than the metro because of traffic, but they are amazing for sightseeing. You get to see the city while you ride. But what happens when the sun goes down? That's when the NitBus comes out. The night buses have numbers that start with N and they run after the metro closes. Important detail, these are not run by TMB but by private companies. That's why they look different, usually yellow instead of red. But don't worry, they are still part of the integrated system. And the best part, almost all of them pass through Plaza Catalunya, making them super easy to find. You also have Rodalies, the commuter trains run by the company Renfe. These are marked with an orange R. A lot of their stations are underground in the city, so they feel like the metro too, but they run less frequently and go farther out, to the airport, to sieges, to the beach towns. And there's another type of train called the FGC. These look like the metro as well, they feel like the metro, but they are run by a different company. They mostly go to the mountains and suburbs, and if you are visiting Colonia Well or the Tibidabo, you'll probably use an FGC trains. There are also trams. These are the green streetcars. There are two networks. One goes to the east side of the city, one to the west. They are smooth, modern, and scenic. These are run by a company called Trams, not TMB. But don't worry, they are still fully public and part of the integrated ticket system. And finally, the private options. Taxis and ride-sharing services. Barcelona taxis are famous for being black and yellow. You can hail them on the street. They are everywhere, they are safe and regulated. For ride-sharing services, we have Uber, Bolt and Cabify. In most cities, you just open their apps and go. In Barcelona, it is complicated. They exist here, but their status is messy. The Catalan government protects the taxi industry aggressively. There's a new law in the works that basically tries to kill these apps for quick trips. Now, here's the beautiful part. Barcelona has an integrated fare system. Basically, one ticket to rule them all. One ticket works on the metro, the TMB buses, the FGC trains, the Rodalies trains, and the trams, all within Zone 1. You buy one card and you tap it everywhere. That's the magic of the system. Let's talk about the tickets. This is the most important section of the video. This is where you save money. We see tourists every day buying the wrong thing because the machine offers them a single ticket right on the home screen. Let's fix that. Mistake number one is the single ticket, the billet sensible. Do not buy this. It is the most expensive way to travel per trip, and unlike the other cards, it does not allow you to transfer between modes of transport. It is a waste of money unless you are literally taking one single trip in your entire visit, or if budget is not an issue for you and you just value the convenience of being able to tap and pay with your credit card directly at the turnstile where available. Instead, you want this. This is the T Casual. It gives you 10 trips for a heavily discounted price. Basically, each ride costs half as much as a single ticket. It is the gold standard for most travelers. There is a catch, a big one. The T Casual is personal. That means you cannot share it. You cannot tap it for yourself, pass it back to your wife, and have her tap it too. Each person needs their own card. If you are a family that doesn't plan to use the metro or the buses much, maybe just a few times, look for the T Familiar. It has 8 trips, and yes, this one can be shared by multiple people. You can tap it 4 times for 4 people. And finally, if you are a power user, I'm talking 5, 6, 7 trips a day, get the Hola Barcelona card. It gives you unlimited travel for 2, 3, 4, or 5 days. And unlike the T Casual, this one does include the special airport metro. Now, a quick note on the physical cards themselves, because this confuses everyone. For most tickets, like the T Casual or the T Familiar, the old magnetic strips are history. We now use T Mobilitat. It's a rechargeable cardboard card that you tap. But there is one big exception, the Hola Barcelona card. For some reason, these still use the old school magnetic system. So if you buy the Hola Barcelona card, do not try to tap it, it won't work. You must insert it into the slot on the left side of the turnstile to validate. When you buy your first T Casual or T Familiar, the machine will charge you a tiny fee for the physical card itself. Don't throw it away. When you use up your 10 trips, you just come back to the machine, place this card on the reader, and top it up with another 10 trips. No more paper waste. Actually, buying these tickets at the machine can be a bit confusing the first time with all the language options and menus. If you are nervous about it, check out our video on T Mobilitat, where we walk you through the entire purchase process step by step, so you know exactly which buttons to press. One last secret, the 75-minute rule. Remember the integrated system. When you validate your ticket, a 75-minute timer starts. You can take the metro, get out, grab a bus to the beach, and jump on a tram. As long as you are within that time window, it counts as one single trip. But there are 2 ways to accidentally break this rule and get charged double. First, you cannot take the same bus line twice in a row. Second, you cannot exit a metro station and then enter a metro station again, even if it's a different station. The system sees metro, then metro, and thinks it's a new journey. So metro to bus, free transfer, metro to bus to metro, new ticket. Remember, you must validate your card every time you change vehicles so the system knows you are transferring. If you don't tap, you are traveling illegally. And before we detail how to actually use the different systems, we take a break. Perfect moment for us to grab a quick coffee. And a huge cheers to the amazing friends of the channel who've treated us to one. If you want to say thanks, you can do it with a coffee or you can become a channel member. Either way, we are really thankful to you. So let's start our review of the different systems with the workhorse, the metro. As you can see on the metro map, it covers practically every inch of the city. You are never more than a 10-minute walk from a station. Finding a station is easy. Look for the red diamond M logo. But sometimes, especially uptown, you might see this orange logo that looks like a chain link. That is the FGC, a company that we saw runs a few metro lines as well. Don't be confused, but for your purposes, it works exactly the same way. When you enter the station, you will always find ticket vending machines. You can pay for your tickets with cash, with credit cards, or with your mobile phone. Some stations like Sands have new barriers that allow you to pay directly at the turnstile with your contactless card or phone. If you do this, you pay the full single ticket fare. As we said, it's not a good deal financially, but if you value speed and ease of use over budget, go ahead and make the most of it. This program will eventually reach all stations, but again, it will take a while. For the rest of us using a T-Mobilitat card, pick a lane with a green arrow. Look for the contactless symbol on the side. Tap your card on the reader and wait for the beep and the green light. The screen will show you how many trips you have left. Then go through the gate. Once you are on the platform, check the direction. The signs will always tell you the name of the last stop of the line. So if you are on the green line going to Plaza Catalunya, you need to know if you are heading towards Trinitat Nova or Zona Universitaria. Inside the train, keep an eye on the screen or the flashing lights above the door to see your progress. Now, here's a pro tip for exiting. On the newer lines, doors open automatically, but on the older lines, you may have to press a button or turn a little lever to open the door. If you just stand there waiting, the train will leave with you still inside. Finally, exiting. In 90% of metro stations, just walk out. You don't need to tap your card again. One last crucial rule for the metro: as long as you stay underground, you can change lines as many times as you want. You can ride line 1, switch to line 3, then switch to line 5. It doesn't matter, there is no time limit, and it only counts as one trip. But the moment you exit the turnstiles and leave the station, that trip is over. If you re-enter 5 minutes later, you pay for a new trip, unless you are transferring to a different type of transport, like a bus. So don't leave the station until you are sure you are at your final stop. And one final warning: never throw your ticket away until you are completely out of the station, even if you have 0 trips left. Ticket inspectors often stand right at the exit tunnels. If you cannot show them a valid ticket, even a used one, they can fine you on the spot. Keep it until you hit fresh air. So that's the underground. Now let's go above ground and talk about the buses, because the rules there are a little different. While the metro is fast, the bus is beautiful and surprisingly logical. Barcelona redesigned its entire bus network to act like a grid, just like the streets. The lines are coded by letter. If you see a V, like V15 or V17, that stands for vertical. These buses run up and down from the sea to the mountain. If you see an H, like H12 or H16, that stands for horizontal. These buses run across the city from left to right, parallel to the coast. And if you see a D, like D20, that is diagonal. These cut through the specific avenues that break the grid. This system makes it incredibly easy to navigate. Barcelona buses are red, some models with white parts. Bus stops are clearly marked. Most have screens telling you exactly when the next one is coming, But here's the golden rule of Barcelona buses. You must extend your arm. If you are standing at the stop staring at your phone, the driver may assume you are not getting on and just keep driving. You need to extend your arm slightly towards the road so the driver knows you want that bus. When the bus stops, the rule of thumb is to enter through the front door. That is the standard for the majority of buses. However, you will see locals sometimes hopping on the back doors of the really long articulated buses. It can be confusing because you never know which type of bus is coming. Our advice: play it safe. Go to the front door near the driver. Once you are in, look for the validator. Tap your card. Wait for the beep. If you are using that 75-minute transfer window we talked about, the screen will light up, but it won't deduct a new trip. It's magic. You can pay with your bank card on all Barcelona buses. Just tap on the machine near the entrance. You will get a single ticket without the right to transfers. Once you're moving, keep an eye on the screen for your stop. The buses announce the stops visually and sometimes audibly. When your stop is next, push the red button. The Parada Solicitada Stop Requested sign will light up. When the bus stops, exit through the middle or back doors. Never exit through the front door. Now, what happens after midnight when the metro closes and the regular buses have stopped running? Do you have to take a taxi? No, you take the NitBus. These are yellow buses. Their line numbers always start with N. They run all night long, every 20 minutes or so, and the best part, almost every single NitBus line passes through Plaza Catalunya. It is a central hub. But here's a warning about tickets because this confuses everyone. Your standard integrated cards like the T-Casual or T-Familiar work perfectly fine on the NitBus. You just tap and ride. However, the tourist travel cards like the Hola Barcelona card do not work on the night bus. I know, it makes no sense, but that's the rule. If you have one of those, you'll need to pay for a single ticket on board. One bus warning for our cruise ship passengers. You will see a blue bus called the T3 port bus or cruise bus that shuttles people to the cruise terminals. This is not a public bus. It is a private shuttle service. Your T-Casual, your Hola Barcelona card, your metro ticket, none of them work here. You have to pay specifically for this bus, usually in cash or card, right at the stop. We have a specific video detailing how to reach the cruise terminals. Don't miss it. Finally, you will see these massive double-decker tourist buses everywhere. These are the hop-on, hop-off sightseeing buses. Obviously, these are not public transport either. They require their own special ticket, which is more expensive. Are they worth your money, or are they just a slow, hot tourist trap? We have a separate video reviewing them in detail here in the channel. But for getting from point A to point B cheaply, stick to the red city buses. And then we have the trains. You might think, I'm not leaving the city. Why do I care about trains? Well, because sometimes the train is actually a faster version of the metro. First, Rodalies. These are the commuter trains run by Renfe. You spot them by the orange R. In the city center, they run underground just like the metro. Locals use this as super metro. For example, if you want to get from Sand Station to Passeig de Gràcia, the train takes 4 minutes. The metro takes 15. And the good news, your T-Casual works on these trains just like it does on the metro. Same integrated ticket, same Zone 1 coverage. Validating is simple, tap in at the turnstile. But unlike the metro, you usually have to tap out to leave the train station, so keep your card in your hand. Second, the FGC, we mentioned them earlier. These are the trains that start at Plaza Catalunya and go uptown towards Sarrià Tibidabo, or start at Plaza de España and go west. They are cleaner, newer and fancy. And just like Rodalies, you must tap out when you exit. Now let's talk about the one system that doesn't have turnstiles at all, the tram. For years, this system was split in two. One network in the west, Tram Baix, and one in the east, Tram Besòs. But that is changing fast. It will still take a while, but the city is currently connecting these two networks right down the middle of the famous Avinguda Diagonal. This is huge for you because it makes getting to the cool new neighborhoods much easier. If you want to visit the Plaza Glorias area, where the big flea market and the Torre Glorias are, or the Diagonal Mar district near the beach, the tram is your best friend. It's faster than the bus and much more scenic than the metro. Using it is a little different. There are no turnstiles. You just walk right onto the platform and right onto the tram. But be careful because there are no barriers. People forget to validate. You must find the machine inside the tram and tap your card. Ticket inspectors love the tram because it's so easy to catch distracted tourists. Don't be one of them. It's smooth, it's quiet, and thanks to the new extensions towards Verdaguer, it's finally becoming a useful way to cross the city center, not just the suburbs. Now here's a secret bonus that most tourists miss. Barcelona has two funiculars, those steep mountain trains that are fully integrated into the public transport system. First is the Montjuïc funicular. It connects the parallel metro station with the Montjuïc Park. You don't even need to leave the station. You just walk down the hall, hop on the funicular, and it takes you halfway up the mountain. And because it's integrated, it costs you nothing extra. It counts as part of your metro trip. Second is the Valvidrera funicular, which is part of the FGC network. This one takes you up to the Collserola Mountains for incredible views. Again, fully integrated, use your standard ticket. But be careful, do not confuse these with other tourist transports. The Teleféric de Montjuïc, the cable car near the castle, the Teleféric del Port, the red one over the harbor, and the famous funicular at Tibidabo Amusement Park. These are private tourist attractions. Your T-Casual card will not work here. You have to buy separate, often expensive tickets for these. If you want to know which of those expensive rides are actually worth the money and which ones are tourist traps, check out our dedicated video on Barcelona's best views. But for now, stick to the integrated funiculars to save cash. Let's talk about cars. In most cities, you just open Uber and go. In Barcelona, it's complicated. Actually, it's a war. For years, there has been massive friction between the official taxi drivers and ride-sharing apps like Bolt, Cabify, and Uber. You will see protests, strikes, and a lot of tension. This matters to you because the laws are changing right now. As we mentioned earlier, the Catalan government is working on strict new regulations that aim to protect the taxis. The biggest proposal, a rule that could force you to book a ride-sharing service 15 minutes or more in advance. This means you cannot just walk out of a restaurant, open Uber, and get a car in 3 minutes. If the law passes fully, these apps might become useless for spontaneous trips. Thousands of licenses are already being challenged. So, what is the reliable alternative? The black and yellow taxi. They are everywhere, they are safe, and crucially, they are allowed to use the bus lanes and turn in places where private cars like ride-sharing services cannot. They are literally faster. Bottom line, don't rely solely on Bolt, Cabify, or Uber to get you to the airport at 4 a.m. The app might fail you. Walk to the corner and wave your hand at a yellow taxi with a green light or book it in advance. As soon as the new law is approved, we will reflect any changes on the first comment below the video. One final mode of transport we need to mention because you will see them everywhere. The red city bicycles called Bicing. We get asked all the time, how do I rent these? And the answer is you cannot. This system is strictly for residents with a yearly membership. There is no day pass for tourists. So if you want to bike, you will need to go to a private rental shop. Don't waste your time trying to unlock these. Before we finish, we need to talk about how to behave so you don't make the locals angry. Rule number 1 is right on the escalator. Stand on the right, walk on the left. This is sacred in Barcelona and many other cities in the world. If you stand on the left side with your suitcase blocking the way, people will yell at you. We are busy people. Keep the left lane open. Rule 2, the preferential seats. These are for the elderly, pregnant women or people with limited mobility. You can sit here if it's empty, but the second you see a grandma enter the car or the bus, you jump up. It's not just polite, it is expected. And now the serious part, pickpockets. Barcelona is generally very safe. You won't get mugged violently, but we are the pickpocket capital of Europe. These guys are professionals. They work in teams, they are well dressed and they are fast. On the metro, never wear your backpack on your back. Swing it around to your front. Never put your phone in your back pocket. And if you are sitting at a terrace or a restaurant, never ever leave your phone on the table. We have a full masterclass video on exactly how they operate. If you want to make yourself invulnerable, you need to watch that video next. But don't let that scare you. Barcelona is amazing and its public transport is incredible once you know the rules. You have the right ticket and now you have the knowledge. One final question we get all the time: how do I plan my route? Honestly, Google Maps works great for 90% of the city. It knows the bus times, the metro delays, everything. In fact, we love Google Maps so much that we use it to power our own self-guided walking tours around Barcelona. If you truly want to experience Barcelona or Madrid and other Spanish cities like a true local, let us be your guide. We designed these guides so you can skip the clunky guidebooks and the crowded tour groups. They include customized Google Maps with all the best hidden spots. Check the link in the description to find your new favorite corner of Spain. Now, back to public transport apps. While Google is great, be careful with it for the airport. It sometimes makes things more complicated than necessary. And now you have the apps, you have the right ticket, and you have the knowledge. Don't let the pickpockets scare you, just be smart, and you'll have an amazing time in Barcelona. On the screen you will see now the list of our most important videos we have dedicated to Barcelona on the channel. Plenty of information for the perfect stay in the capital of Catalonia. We're waiting for you from now on those videos.